The great crystal dome of Nexus Prime gleamed under 3 different suns. Inside the massive structure, 12 different alien species gathered around a circular table made of black stone. The air hummed with tension as holographic displays showed star maps and battle reports. Ambassador Kextal slammed his clawed hand on the table. His insect-like body clicked and buzzed with anger. The translator device around his neck turned his alien sounds into words the others could understand. "These humans are becoming a problem," Kextal said. His compound eyes reflected the light from the displays. "They have taken over 15 star systems in just 50 years. Systems that belonged to us for thousands of years." The other council members shifted in their seats. Some had scales, others had tentacles, and a few looked like living gas clouds held together by energy fields. All of them had one thing in common. They were angry about the humans. High Counselor Zephron stood up slowly. His body was almost see-through, like looking at someone through water. He was old even by alien standards. His people had ruled parts of the galaxy when most other species were still learning to make fire. "I have studied these humans," Zephron said. His voice sounded like wind blowing through caves. "They come from a small blue planet called Earth. They are very young as a species. Their whole civilization is only about 10,000 years old." A few council members made sounds of disgust. 10,000 years was nothing to species that had existed for millions of years. Commander Velthas of the Krillian Warfleet leaned forward. His reptilian face showed sharp teeth as he smiled. Scars covered his green scales from battles on 100 different worlds. He had never lost a fight. "What kind of technology do they have?" Velthas asked. His yellow eyes stared at the human star systems on the display. Zephron waved his hand and the hologram changed. Now it showed human ships and space stations. The vessels looked clumsy and slow. They had big engines that burned chemical fuel and weapons that fired simple metal bullets. "Very basic technology," Zephron explained. "Their ships use fusion engines. Primitive by our standards. Their weapons are kinetic projectiles and simple energy beams. They have no shield technology that we can detect." The gas being Representative Nethra spoke with a voice like static electricity. "How many ships do they have?" "Our spies have counted maybe 200 vessels in their entire fleet," Zephron answered. "Most are cargo ships or exploration vessels. Perhaps 30 are actually built for fighting." The room filled with alien laughter. Different species made different sounds, but the meaning was clear. 30 fighting ships was nothing to races that had thousands of warships. Velthas stood up to his full height. He was over 8 feet tall and built like a living weapon. Battle scars decorated his armor, and his claws gleamed sharp as knives. "The Krillian Warfleet volunteers to handle this problem," he announced. "My Doombringer squadron has conquered over 100 worlds. We have never failed a mission. The Doombringers were legendary throughout the galaxy. 300 of the best Krillian warriors flying ships powered by dark energy cores. Each vessel could destroy a city with one shot. Together they had wiped out entire civilizations. How long would it take?" asked another council member. Velthas laughed, a sound like rocks grinding together. "One day. Maybe less. When humans see 300 Krillian warships, they will surrender immediately. Most species do." He activated his personal display and showed images of previous conquests. World after world falling to the Doombringers, cities burning under their weapons, alien populations kneeling in defeat. "If they refuse to surrender," Velthas continued, "we will destroy their space fleet in minutes. Then we will demonstrate our power by destroying one of their cities. After that, they will beg for mercy." High Counselor Zephron nodded slowly. "The plan has merit. A show of overwhelming force often prevents longer conflicts." The Vex Collective representative spoke next. It was part machine, part organic, with glowing red sensors for eyes. "Our analysis confirms human military weakness. Their defensive installations are minimal. Their fleet deployment is scattered across multiple systems. More holographic displays showed human settlements, small colonies on distant planets, mining operations in asteroid fields. Everything looked peaceful and undefended. "They do not even seem to expect an attack," noted Ambassador Kextal. "Their ships travel without escorts. Their colonies have no orbital defenses." The council members began discussing the details. Which systems to attack first? How to divide up human territory after the conquest. Some species wanted the resource-rich worlds. Others wanted the humans themselves as workers. Commander Velthas listened with growing satisfaction. This would be easier than most of his missions. Humans seem to have no understanding of galactic politics or military strategy. When do we begin? He asked. High Counselor Zephron looked around the room. All in favor of authorizing the Krillian war fleet to bring humanity into compliance with Galactic Council authority? Every representative raised their hand, tentacle or energy appendage. The vote was unanimous. Commander Velthas, Zephron said formally, you are hereby authorized to use whatever force is necessary to make humanity submit to Council rule. Your mission begins immediately. Velthas saluted by crossing his claws over his chest. It will be my pleasure, High Counselor. The Doombringers will teach these humans their place in the galaxy. The holographic display zoomed in on Earth's solar system. The small blue planet looked so peaceful and quiet. No massive defense stations, no fleet of warships protecting it. Just a few small vessels moving between planets. Such a pretty little world, Velthas murmured. I almost feel sorry for them. They have no idea what is coming. The other council members began filing out of the chamber. There was nothing more to discuss. The human problem would be solved within days. Soon, Earth would be just another conquered world paying tribute to the Galactic Council. As the great crystal dome dimmed its lights, Commander Velthas remained behind. He stared at the image of Earth and its tiny fleet of primitive ships. 300 Doombringer warships against 30 human vessels. It would be a massacre. He had no way of knowing that human intelligence officers had intercepted every word of the council meeting, or that Earth's apparent weakness was the most carefully planned deception in military history. The trap was set. Now humanity would see if their gamble would save their world or doom it forever. Deep beneath the mountains of South Korea, a secret facility buzzed with activity. The underground base stretched for miles in every direction. Thousands of people worked at computer stations and holographic displays. The air hummed with the sound of advanced technology that the rest of the galaxy had never seen. General Park Woo-jin stood in the central command room. His gray hair and lined face showed his age, but his eyes were sharp and alert. Around him, massive screens displayed information from across the solar system. Every alien movement was being tracked and recorded. Dr. Kim Jina walked up to the general. She carried a tablet filled with data about the Alien Council meeting. Her team of scientists had been studying alien technology for over 15 years. General, we intercepted their entire conversation, Dr. Kim reported. They think we are primitives with chemical rockets and metal bullets. The general smiled grimly. Perfect. How much do they actually know about our real capabilities? Nothing, Dr. Kim answered. Every spy probe they sent to our system saw exactly what we wanted them to see. Old cargo ships, mining vessels, research stations with basic fusion engines. They have no idea about our hidden fleet. Captain Lee Minho entered the command room. He wore the black uniform of the Shadow Fleet, humanity's most secret military unit. His face was serious as he saluted the general. Sir, all stealth vessels are ready for deployment, Captain Lee reported. The enemy should arrive in approximately 6 hours. General Park turned to look at another officer. Captain Choi Hana commanded the stealth frigate squadron. She was young but had trained her entire life for this moment. Her ships were equipped with technology that could make them invisible to any known alien sensors. Captain Choi, status of your squadron? The general asked. All 12 frigates are in position around Jupiter, she answered. The aliens will never see us coming. Our quantum stealth systems are operating perfectly. Dr. Kim activated a holographic display that showed the real human fleet. Sleek ships that looked nothing like the crude vessels the aliens had observed. These ships were powered by quantum drives and armed with plasma weapons hot enough to melt through any known armor. General, would you like to review our actual military strength? Dr. Kim asked. The hologram showed 57 stealth frigates hidden throughout the solar system. 23 battlecruisers waited near the asteroid belt. 12 massive dreadnoughts floated in the dark space beyond Pluto. All were completely invisible to alien detection systems. The aliens are sending 300 ships, General Park said. We have 92 vessels. Do you believe we can win? Captain Lee Minho stepped forward. Sir, one of our dreadnoughts could destroy 50 of their ships. Our technology is not just better than theirs. It is completely beyond their understanding. The general walked over to another display. This one showed Earth's public space program. Crude ships with chemical engines, simple space stations with basic equipment, mining operations using old-fashioned tools, everything designed to look primitive and harmless. 15 years, the general said quietly. 15 years we have maintained this deception. Every alien spy, every surveillance probe, every intelligence report has shown them exactly what we wanted them to see. Dr. Kim nodded. The first alien probe crashed in our Pacific Ocean in 2010. Instead of announcing the discovery, we kept it secret. Our scientists reverse-engineered their technology and improved on it. She activated another display showing the progression of human technology. By 2015, we had developed quantum drives. By 2018, we had plasma weapons. By 2020, we had stealth technology that could hide entire fleets. Captain Choi Hana added, "We have been preparing for this exact scenario. An alien race that would approach Earth with overwhelming confidence and minimal tactical awareness." The general turned to face his officers. "The key to our strategy is surprise. The aliens believe they are attacking a primitive world with basic defenses. They have no idea they are walking into a trap designed specifically for their species." Another officer approached. Colonel Han Jisoo was the fleet's top strategic analyst. She had studied every alien battle tactic for over a decade. "General, our psychological profile of the Krillians shows they are overconfident predators," Colonel Han reported. "They have never fought an enemy that was actually stronger than they appeared to be." Dr. Kim brought up files on previous alien conquests. Every species they have defeated was exactly what it appeared to be. Primitive civilizations with basic technology. They have never encountered an enemy that deliberately appeared weak, while secretly developing superior weapons. The general studied the tactical displays. "Captain Lee, remind me of our primary objectives." "First, allow the aliens to attack our decoy fleet," Captain Lee answered. "Let them believe they are winning easily. Second, reveal our true strength at the moment of maximum alien confidence. Third, destroy their fleet so completely that survivors will carry word back to their council." Captain Choi Hana stepped forward. "Sir, there is one concern. The decoy fleet crews know they might not survive the initial attack." The general's face grew sad. Captain Park Dong-hyun volunteered his crew for the decoy fleet. "They understand the risks. Their sacrifice will save billions of human lives." Dr. Kim activated a communication channel to the decoy fleet. 30 older human ships waited in Earth orbit. They were obsolete vessels with outdated weapons, but they looked impressive enough to fool alien observers. "Captain Park, this is command. Are your ships ready?" the general asked. Captain Park Dong-hyun's voice came through the speakers. "General, my crews are honored to serve as bait. We will make the aliens believe they are fighting Earth's strongest defenders. Remember, Captain, you only need to survive long enough for the Shadow Fleet to attack. Once our stealth ships decloak, retreat to safe distance." "Understood, sir. We will not let you down." The general closed the communication channel and looked around the command room. Everything humanity had worked for during 15 years of secret preparation would be decided in the next few hours. "The aliens think they are hunting sheep," he said quietly. "They are about to discover they are facing wolves." Space around Earth's solar system rippled and twisted as 300 alien warships dropped out of hyperspace. The massive Krillian vessels appeared like deadly shadows against the stars. Each ship was over a mile long and covered in dark metal armor. Energy weapons glowed along their hulls like angry eyes. Commander Velta stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Annihilator. The enormous vessel was the pride of the Krillian war fleet. Its weapons could destroy entire cities with a single blast. Around him, his crew worked at their stations with deadly efficiency. "Report," Velthas ordered. His yellow eyes stared at the blue planet ahead. Lieutenant Kexmore, his sensor officer, studied the readings carefully. "Commander, we are detecting minimal defensive activity. The human fleet appears to consist of approximately 30 vessels in orbit around their home planet." Velthas allowed himself a predatory smile. 30 ships against 300. "Show me their fleet composition." The main display screen filled with images of human ships. They looked crude and primitive compared to Krillian technology. Simple metal hulls with chemical rockets for engines, basic energy shields that barely qualified as defensive systems. Their largest vessel appears to be about half the size of our smallest frigate, Lieutenant Kexmore reported. Energy readings suggest fusion-powered engines and kinetic projectile weapons. Another officer spoke up. "Commander, we are also detecting some mining operations in the asteroid belt and a few research stations near the outer planets. Nothing that poses any threat?" Veltas laughed, the sound echoing through his ship's bridge. "This will be easier than I expected. Open a communication channel to the human vessels. The transmission beam reached Earth's decoy fleet within seconds. Captain Park Dong-hyun sat in the command chair of the UES Defiance, one of humanity's older but still functional warships. Around him, his crew prepared for what they knew might be their final battle. Incoming transmission from the alien flagship, his communications officer reported. "Put it on screen," Captain Park ordered. He had volunteered for this mission knowing the risks. His ship and 29 others were bait in humanity's carefully planned trap. Commander Velthas appeared on the screen. His reptilian features and scarred scales made him look like something from humanity's worst nightmares. When he spoke, his voice was filled with arrogance and contempt. "Human creatures, I am Commander Velthas of the Krillian Warfleet. We represent the Galactic Council. Your species has been judged unworthy of independent existence." Captain Park kept his expression calm. "This is Captain Park of the United Earth Space Defense Force. You are entering sovereign human territory without permission." Velthas showed his sharp teeth in what might have been a smile. "Your little ships amuse me, human. We have conquered over 100 worlds. Species far more advanced than yours have knelt before Krillian might. Then you will be disappointed," Captain Park replied. "Humanity does not kneel." The alien commander's eyes narrowed with anger. "You dare to challenge the Krillian Warfleet? Look around you, primitive creature. 300 warships surround your pathetic planet. Each one of my vessels could destroy your entire fleet." Captain Park glanced at his tactical display. Hidden sensors throughout the solar system showed him the real situation. 92 human ships waited in complete stealth, invisible to alien sensors. The trap was ready. "Commander Velthas, I have a message for you," Captain Park said calmly. "Humanity has survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, and every natural disaster our planet could create. We have survived because we are tougher than we look." Velthas roared with laughter. "Brave words from a dead species. You have exactly 60 seconds to power down your weapons and prepare for surrender. After that, we will demonstrate why resistance is futile." The communication ended and Captain Park turned to his crew. "All stations prepare for combat. Remember, we only need to hold them off long enough for the Shadow Fleet to attack." Throughout the solar system, human observers watched the alien fleet with growing excitement. In the secret command center beneath Korea, General Park Woo-jin monitored every alien ship. "The enemy has deployed in standard intimidation formation," Colonel Han Jisoo reported. "Maximum visual impact, minimal tactical awareness. They expect immediate surrender or easy victory." Captain Lee Minho's voice came through the communication system from his hidden position near Jupiter. "Shadow Fleet reports all vessels ready. The enemy has no idea we exist." Dr. Kim Jina studied the alien ship designs with scientific curiosity. "Their energy signatures match our predictions perfectly. Our plasma weapons should cut through their armor like paper." General Park nodded grimly. "Captain Lee, hold position until my command. Let them attack the decoy fleet first." On the bridge of the Annihilator, Commander Velthas watched his chronometer count down the final seconds. When the timer reached 0, he raised his clawed hand. "Time is up, humans. All ships target the primitive fleet. Show them the price of defying the Galactic Council." 300 alien warships opened fire simultaneously. Brilliant energy beams lanced across space toward the 30 human vessels. The decoy fleet returned fire with their older weapons, putting up a brave but seemingly hopeless fight. Several human ships exploded under the alien assault. Captain Park's ship shook as energy blasts struck their hull. On his tactical display, he watched his fleet take heavy damage while apparently inflicting little harm on the alien vessels. "This is almost too easy," Velthas commented as he watched human ships burn. "Their weapons cannot even penetrate our armor." But in the hidden command center on Earth, General Park smiled for the first time in hours. The aliens had taken the bait completely. They were focused entirely on the decoy battle and had no idea of the real threat surrounding them. "All Shadow Fleet units," the general commanded. "Execute Prometheus Protocol. Captain Lee, you are cleared to engage." Throughout the solar system, space itself began to shimmer and distort as 57 stealth frigates prepared to decloak. The moment that would decide humanity's fate had finally arrived. Space around the Krillian Warfleet suddenly filled with new contacts as 57 human stealth frigates decloaked simultaneously. The sleek, predatory vessels appeared like ghosts, materializing from nothing. Their hulls gleamed with advanced armor and their weapons glowed with barely contained energy. Lieutenant Kexmore stared at his sensor displays in complete shock. "Commander, new contacts appearing throughout our formation. Where did they come from?" Commander Veltas spun around to look at the tactical screen. His confident expression changed to confusion and then to growing fear as more and more human ships appeared on his sensors. "Impossible," he snarled. "Our sensors showed only 30 primitive vessels. How are there suddenly 90 contacts?" The answer came through his communication system as Captain Lee Minho's voice cut across all frequencies from his position aboard the dreadnought Seoul. The massive human warship had appeared directly behind the alien flagship like a predator stalking prey. "Commander Velthas, this is Captain Lee of the Terran Defense Corps Shadow Fleet. You wanted to see humanity's strongest defenders. Here we are." Velthas turned to stare at the main screen where the human dreadnought filled the display. The Seoul was twice the size of his flagship and bristled with weapons he could not identify. Its hull seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, giving the ship an otherworldly appearance. "Your sensors could not detect us because we did not want to be detected," Captain Lee continued. "Human stealth technology operates on principles your science has not discovered." The first volley from the Shadow Fleet was devastating beyond anything the Krillians had ever experienced. Plasma beams operating at temperatures that matched the cores of stars sliced through alien hull armor like it was made of paper. The energy weapons turned Krillian battle steel into glowing vapor in seconds. Quantum torpedoes phased through enemy shields as if they did not exist, then detonated inside alien vessels with the power of small suns. Adaptive targeting systems ensured that every shot from every human weapon found its mark with perfect accuracy. In the opening 30 seconds of the real battle, 47 Krillian warships simply ceased to exist. They did not explode or break apart. They were simply vaporized by weapons operating on technology the aliens could not comprehend. "All ships, evasive maneuvers," Veltas roared into his communication system. "Return fire immediately." The Krillian war fleet tried to respond, but their enemies were already gone. The human ships moved with impossible speed and agility, appearing long enough to fire their weapons, then vanishing back into stealth before the aliens could target them. Captain Choi Hana led her squadron of stealth frigates through the heart of the alien formation like dancers performing a deadly ballet. Her ships could appear and disappear at will thanks to quantum drive technology that folded space around them. "Target their command vessels first," she ordered her pilots. "Cut off their coordination, and they will panic." Her frigates materialized around 3 Krillian command ships simultaneously. Plasma cannons fired in perfect synchronization, reducing the alien vessels to expanding clouds of superheated gas. Then the human ships vanished again before the enemy could react. On Earth, Dr. Kim Jina watched the battle through sensor feeds with scientific fascination. "Their energy shields are completely useless against our plasma weapons," she reported to General Park. "The temperature differential is simply too great." General Park nodded as he watched the tactical display. "How long until their fleet realizes they cannot win?" "Based on their casualty rate, approximately 10 more minutes," Colonel Han Jisoo calculated. "They are losing ships faster than they can count them." Commander Veltha stared at his tactical display in growing horror. Over 100 of his ships had been destroyed in less than 5 minutes. His sensors could barely track the human vessels as they struck without warning and disappeared before retaliation was possible. "Damage report," he shouted at his bridge crew. 60% of the fleet is gone, Commander," his tactical officer replied with a shaking voice. "Their weapons are completely beyond our understanding. Our armor might as well be decorative." A human frigate appeared directly in front of the Annihilator and fired a single plasma beam. The shot struck the alien flagship's main weapon array and turned it into molten metal in seconds. Then the human ship vanished again before the Krillians could return fire. "They are playing with us," Velthus realized with dawning terror. That ship could have destroyed us completely but chose to disable our weapons instead. Captain Lee Minho's voice reached him again through the communication system. "Commander, you seem to be having some difficulty. Perhaps we should discuss terms of surrender." Velthus looked around his damaged bridge. Warning lights flashed red and smoke filled the air. Half his crew was dead or wounded. His mighty fleet was being systematically destroyed by an enemy he could barely see. "This cannot be happening," he whispered. Humans are supposed to be primitive. Your technology readings showed fusion engines and kinetic weapons. Dr. Kim Jina's voice joined the conversation from her position in the Earth Command Center. Commander, every reading your sensors took was carefully manufactured. We have been feeding your intelligence networks false information for over 15 years. The truth began to sink in, as Velthas realized the scope of humanity's deception. You mean, every probe you sent, every spy mission, every intelligence report showed you exactly what we wanted you to see, Captain Choi Hana confirmed as her frigate squadron surrounded the alien flagship. Primitive ships and basic weapons while we develop technology that surpasses anything in your arsenal. Another wave of human vessels decloaked around the remaining Krillian ships. These were the battle cruisers, larger and more heavily armed than the frigates. Their appearance sent the last remnants of the alien fleet into complete panic. All ships retreat, Veltas ordered desperately. Emergency hyperspace jump. But it was too late. Human quantum jammers prevented hyperspace navigation throughout the battle zone. The remaining Krillian vessels found themselves trapped with nowhere to run and no way to fight back against an enemy that could appear and disappear at will. Commander Velthas slumped in his command chair, surrounded by the wreckage of his pride and the destruction of his fleet. The most feared military force in the galaxy had been reduced to helpless prey in less than an hour. The humans had not just won. They had delivered a massacre with surgical precision. The battle that Commander Veltas expected to last minutes had become an hour-long nightmare. What began as casual extermination had turned into desperate survival for the once mighty Krillian war. Fleet, the alien commander watched his tactical display with growing disbelief as another squadron of his ships disappeared. Under human assault, fleet status report, Veltas demanded, his voice hoarse from shouting orders that seemed to make no difference. 237 vessels destroyed. Commander, his tactical officer reported. The young Krillian's scales had turned pale with fear. Only 63 ships remain operational, and most of those are damaged. Velthas stared at the numbers in shock. In 60 minutes, the humans had destroyed nearly 80% of his fleet. The legendary Doombringers, conquerors of 100 worlds, had been reduced to scattered survivors fleeing desperately through space. Captain Lee Minho guided the Soul through the alien formation with deadly precision. The human dreadnought moved like a living creature, its quantum drives allowing it to appear behind enemy vessels, unleash devastating plasma barrages, then vanish before return fire could be coordinated. Target the remaining command ships, Captain Lee ordered his weapons officer. Let them experience true helplessness. 3 more Krillian vessels exploded under focused plasma fire. The aliens had no effective response to weapons that could melt through their strongest armor in seconds. Their energy shields, designed to stop conventional alien weapons, were completely useless against human technology. On Earth, General Park monitored the battle with grim satisfaction. Casualty report on our forces. 0 losses from the Shadow Fleet, Colonel Hanjisu reported. The decoy fleet lost 11 ships, but Captain Park and his surviving crews are safely withdrawn. The general nodded. 11 obsolete vessels and their volunteer crews had been sacrificed to maintain the deception. Their courage had saved Earth and demonstrated human strength to the galaxy. Dr. Kim Jina studied the alien ship designs with scientific interest. General, their technology is actually quite sophisticated by galactic standards. The problem is that they have never faced an enemy that was technologically superior. Explain, the general requested. Every species they have conquered was exactly what it appeared to be, Dr. Kim continued. Primitive civilizations with basic technology. They have built their entire military doctrine around overwhelming weaker opponents through superior firepower. Captain Choi Hana's voice came through the communication system as her frigate squadron continued hunting scattered alien survivors. They have no tactical flexibility. When their standard approach fails, they have no backup plan. Commander Velthas realized this truth as he watched his remaining ships try desperately to escape. Human vessels appeared and disappeared at will, striking with perfect accuracy before vanishing like ghosts. His forces could not adapt to an enemy that refused to fight by conventional rules. How are they moving so fast? He demanded of his science officer. Unknown, Commander. Their drive systems do not match any known technology. They appear to be manipulating space-time itself. The human ships were indeed using quantum drives that folded space around them, allowing instantaneous movement across vast distances. The technology was based on principles that Krillian science had not discovered and could not understand. Captain Lee Minho decided it was time to end the slaughter. All Shadow Fleet units prepare for final assault. Target the alien flagship, but do not destroy it. We need survivors to carry our message. The Soul materialized directly above the Annihilator, its massive bulk casting a shadow over the alien command ship. Plasma cannons targeted the Krillian vessel's engines and weapons, disabling them without destroying the ship itself. Commander Velthas, Captain Lee's voice echoed through the alien bridge. This is your final warning. Order your remaining ships to power down their weapons and prepare to retreat. Velthas looked around his damaged bridge. Warning sirens wailed as his ship's systems failed one by one. Through the view screen, he could see human warships surrounding his surviving vessels like predators circling wounded prey. We surrender, he said quietly, the words tasting like poison in his mouth. Louder, Commander, Captain Lee demanded. I want your entire fleet to hear. Velthas activated the fleet-wide communication system with shaking hands. All Krillian vessels, this is Commander Velthas. Cease fire and power down all weapons. We surrendered to the human forces. The admission of defeat echoed across the battle zone. The proud Krillian warfleet, conquerors of 100 worlds, had been brought to their knees by a species they had dismissed as primitive. General Park's voice reached the alien commander through hijacked communication channels. Commander Velthas, this is General Park of the Terran Defense Forces. You came here expecting to find primitives with chemical rockets. Instead, you found equals with superior technology. Dr. Kim Gina added her voice to the transmission. Every probe your people sent to our system was detected and fed false information. We have been preparing for this encounter for 15 years, using technology reverse-engineered from crashed alien vessels. The scope of humanity's deception began to sink in. Velthas realized that his entire species had been manipulated and outmaneuvered by creatures they considered inferior. Your intelligence networks have been compromised for over a decade, Colonel Han Jisoo explained. We know about every world you have conquered, every species you have enslaved, every tactical doctrine you employ. Captain Choi Hana's frigates performed a final demonstration, appearing and disappearing around the surviving alien ships with impossible speed. Your sensors still cannot track us properly, can they? That is because our technology is not just more advanced than yours. It is based on scientific principles your civilization has not discovered. Commander Velthas slumped in his command chair, overwhelmed by the magnitude of his defeat. His fleet had not lost a battle. They had been systematically destroyed by an enemy that had prepared for this exact scenario for years. How many of your ships were actually destroyed in this battle? He asked quietly. The answer came from Captain Park Dongyun, commander of the decoy fleet. None of our real military vessels were lost, Commander. The ships you destroyed were obsolete training vessels crewed by volunteers who knew the risks. The final humiliation sank in. The humans had sacrificed outdated equipment while their actual battle fleet remained completely intact and hidden until the moment of attack. Velthas understood now that this had never been a battle between equals. It had been a carefully planned execution designed to demonstrate human superiority while sending a message to the rest of the galaxy. The age of Krillian dominance was over. The smoking wreckage of the Krillian warfleet drifted through space like a graveyard of alien ambitions. Of the 300 proud warships that had entered the Sol system with absolute confidence, only 53 damaged vessels remained. These survivors clustered together like frightened animals, their weapons powered down and their hulls scarred by human plasma fire. Commander Velthas sat in his command chair aboard the crippled Annihilator. His proud flagship now looked like a broken toy. The bridge was filled with smoke and the smell of burned electronics. Half his crew was dead or wounded. His mighty fleet had been reduced to begging for mercy from creatures he had dismissed as primitive. Captain Lee Minho materialized the Soul next to the alien flagship. The massive human dreadnought dwarfed the Krillian command ship, its pristine hull gleaming with advanced technology that made alien science look ancient by comparison. Commander Velthas, Captain Lee's voice echoed through the damaged bridge. You are free to leave our system, but you will carry a message back to your galactic council. The alien commander raised his reptilian head with what little dignity remained to him. What message? General Park's voice joined the conversation from the command center beneath Earth. Inform your council that humanity claims sovereign rights to all star systems within 50 light years of Earth. Any alien vessel entering this space without proper diplomatic contact will be considered hostile. Dr. Kim Gina activated her communication system and began streaming data to every surviving Krillian ship. The information showed just how completely humanity had penetrated alien intelligence networks. We have been monitoring your species for longer than you have known we existed, Dr. Kim explained. Every world you have conquered, every species you have enslaved, every tactical doctrine you have developed. We know it all. The data stream showed detailed files on Krillian military bases, troop movements, and strategic plans. The aliens realized with growing horror that their entire civilization had been observed and analyzed by human intelligence services for decades. Colonel Han Jisoo added her tactical analysis. Your fleet was not defeated by superior numbers, Commander. You were defeated by superior preparation, technology, and strategy. We have proven that Earth's defenses can handle anything your council might deploy against us. Captain Choi Hana's stealth frigates performed one final demonstration around the surviving alien vessels. The human ships appeared and disappeared with impossible speed, their movements so fast that Krillian sensors could barely track them. Your people still cannot understand how we move, can they? Captain Choi asked. That is because our quantum drive technology operates on scientific principles that your civilization has not discovered. We are not just more advanced than you thought. We are operating on a completely different level of understanding. Commander Velthas watched the human ships with defeated eyes. How long have you been preparing for this encounter? Dr. Kim answered from Earth. The first alien probe crashed in our Pacific Ocean 15 years ago. Instead of announcing the discovery, we kept it secret and reverse-engineered your technology. Then we improved on it. She activated displays showing the progression of human advancement. By 2015, we had quantum drives. By 2018, we had plasma weapons. By 2020, we had stealth technology superior to anything in the known galaxy. We spent 5 years studying your psychology and tactics. General Park's voice carried the weight of Earth's determination. This war that your council wanted would not have ended with humanity's submission, Commander. It would have ended with the complete destruction of every species foolish enough to threaten our world. The implications sank in as Velthas realized the true scope of human capability. The creatures his people had dismissed as primitives were actually the most dangerous predators the galaxy had ever produced. Captain Park Dong-hyun spoke from his position aboard the rebuilt UES Defiance. Commander, there is something else your council should understand. The 30 ships you destroyed were not our strongest defenders. They were our oldest training vessels, crewed by volunteers who knew they might not survive. The final humiliation struck home. The humans had sacrificed obsolete equipment, while their real military remained completely untouched. The entire battle had been fought with humanity operating at a fraction of their actual strength. Your species survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, and planetary catastrophes. General Park continued. We survived by becoming the ultimate survivors. When threatened, we do not just fight back. We become the threat that others fear. The surviving Krillian ships began powering up their hyperspace drives for the journey home. Their sensors were still damaged and their weapons were destroyed. But their communication systems worked well enough to carry humanity's message back to the Galactic Council. One final point. Commander, Captain Lee said as the Soul began to withdraw. The technology you witnessed today represents only our current defensive capabilities. Human science advances rapidly. By the time you reach your home world, we will have developed even more advanced systems. Dr. Kim added her warning. Earth is not a target for conquest, Commander. It is a fortress world defended by creatures whose apparent primitiveness conceals technological and tactical sophistication beyond anything your council has encountered. As the battered alien fleet prepared to jump to hyperspace, Commander Velthas opened one final communication channel to Earth. General Park, he said quietly, what should I tell the council about humanity? The general's answer would echo through the halls of galactic power for generations to come. Tell them that we challenged their strongest with our weakest and not a single real human warship was lost. Tell them that Earth's children have earned their place among the stars through victory, in battle against those who underestimated us. The Krillian survivors jumped to hyperspace, carrying with them news that would reshape galactic politics forever. The age of humanity's isolation was over, but it ended not with conquest by aliens, but with recognition that humans had become the apex predators of the galaxy. In the council chambers of Nexus Prime, when Commander Velthus delivered his report to the stunned alien representatives, his words would be remembered as the moment everything changed. We challenged humanity with our strongest forces. They responded with obsolete training ships and still destroyed 80% of our fleet. Their real military never even engaged. They were not defending their world. They were teaching us why challenging them was a mistake no species should ever make twice. The galaxy had learned to fear not humanity's weakness, but their terrible strength hidden behind a mask of seeming vulnerability. Earth stood revealed not as a primitive world ripe for conquest, but as the home of creatures who had turned deception into an art form and war into a science. The message was clear. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and they had announced their presence with the smoking wreckage of those foolish enough to test them. Humanity had won not just a battle, but respect through the most ancient and effective method known to any species. Complete victory over enemies who thought they could not be defeated.